feel like I'm having some seating issues. Should I stay up or down? Up, down. Comment down below what you prefer. Hey crew, welcome to the Spiritual Social. I'm Lexi, your local lightworker. I'm a tarot reader and an astrologer, and today I'm bringing you a pick-a-card reading with 3 fun options to choose from that was inspired by a subscriber. So somebody reached out to me and asked me if I could do a reading checking their luck in love and how can they change it. And I thought this was such an interesting topic and I decided to take on the suggestion. So here we are today. How does this reading work? I pulled 3 cards for you guys to try to diagnose why do you think you might be unlucky in love, and then 3 other cards that will show me the treatment, the cure. What do you need to do to change this mentality or actually to change your luck? So I have chosen 3 cards and 3 cards because I want to manifest the energy of the beautiful number 6, which is considered to be the number of goddess Venus, Aphrodite, or her other equivalents such as Hathor, for example, in other cultures. So I just thought this would be super fun to create. I hope you will enjoy this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. I love to have you as part of my family, and in this period I'm quite productive. Ooh, we had a candle extinguishing itself. Okay, so maybe there is a little bit of a low energy surrounding us. So what I'm going to do now, just because this serendipitous event happened, I have here a piece of snowflake obsidian for protection. I'm going to put it to the side. I'll bring the white candle closer and I'm going to burn some incense. This is the moon goddess incense that I have, and it smells divine, but it also helps to protect. Okay, so I'm going to make the protective lemniscate symbol, which is the number 8 turned on its head. God bless this space, God bless my crew, God bless this reading. So let me introduce to you the options now that we have been engaging in a form of protective spell work. For group 1, I have here an emerald sticker. These are stickers taken from the Antiquarian Bibliophilia sticker book, which is linked down below if you want to purchase it for yourself. It was kindly gifted to my channel, so I thank the person who was so generous with me and with us all. For group 2, we have Topaz. And for group 3, we have a Sapphire. I'll tell you more about these stones and what they represent and the astrological energies that they tend to be associated with at your specific pile. I hope you can actually take a moment right now to see which of these options pulls you in the most. I'm going to gently zoom in so you guys can see it better. Great. And if you have made your choice, then let's see what your fortune and love says about you today and how can you change it. Mwah. Hey group 1, welcome to this pick-a-card reading that was Hey group 1, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here, my love. So this is a reading for those of you that were drawn. Hey group 1, hello my loves. I'm so happy to have you here with me today for another pick-a-card reading. This is for those of you that were drawn to the emerald sticker. Okay, I'm going to show you first the types of cards that are going to diagnose why you might be feeling like you're unlucky in love, and then I'll show you the 3 cards that will show me the cure, the treatment basically. So let's see the diagnosis. So we have Sovilo, we have the Magician, and we also have speed, movement. Group 1, are you feeling unlucky in love, or is it more a figment of your imagination? Because to be honest, I don't necessarily see any issues here. I think it's more of a case of frustrated manifestation. You are feeling like your manifestations in love are not happening at the speed at which you would like them to happen. And why did I pronounce happening in that weird way? Maybe there are some communication issues here, my love. So it could be that you think you said something to someone, you think you're doing the correct spell work, you think you're employing the full force of your divinatory and occult abilities, but in reality, you might be deceiving yourself because you're not really putting in all that effort. I see that you're a person who in the past was incredibly attractive. I see that you're an individual that has everything that they need to attract love and to live out a really gorgeous love affair, but there is something here about being impatient, wanting things when you want them right now. Why are they not happening? I wanted a love partner yesterday. And this energy is kind of pushing you from your real self, that loving space inside of you that connects you deeply to the divine. It's pushing you into ego. I want, right now, in my own way. I'm not going to compromise. I want everything when I want it. So there is a little bit this energy. Please don't take it too hard and too personally, but we're here to diagnose what's going on with your luck. So I hope that this is giving you like an awareness moment, maybe a flash of inspiration and insight that you can then work with in order to unblock your luck in love. I see very clearly that you are a very luminous individual. You attract a lot of things. The sun here could talk about having some Leo energy in your chart. Maybe you have the sun on the ascendant, the sun on the midheaven. It could be that you have a Venus in Leo, you are a sun in Leo or a moon in Leo. I feel that you're a naturally attractive, charismatic, playful, and pretty sexy individual. It's just that for some reason, your manifestations are not happening at the moment at the speed at which you would like them to happen, yeah? And this is frustrating you. But just because things are delayed, it doesn't mean that they are denied, yeah? So keep that in mind, because I see very clearly here that there's nothing wrong with you. You are clearly not unlucky in love. You're just perceiving yourself in this way because things are not coming to you as fast as you would like them to manifest. You are an individual that could be tested at the moment by the transit of maybe a large outer planet, such as Saturn or Pluto. There is some transitional energy that I'm picking up with you here, my loves. But I feel that you chose the emerald because you could have some stubborn qualities in your chart. The emerald is the birthstone of the month of April, and it rules over the sign of Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, and Taurians are usually quite attractive individuals. And I feel that if you have any Leo or Taurus placements in your chart, you're incredibly strong, very attractive, but at the same time, you could be a little bit stubborn. So that could be what is blocking the flow of abundance. The fact that you could be a little bit inflexible in the types of partners that you want, in the intentions you put out there into the universe, and inadvertently you are creating obstacles for yourself. So flow sweetly, go gently, don't toughen up so much, don't hold your energy so concentrated or so strongly. I know it's difficult if you are a fixed sign. Sorry, I had to cut that portion out because there was a police alarm that was interrupting our flow. So I know it can be quite difficult sometimes to transform into a flexible energy when you have a predominance of fixed fire signs or earth signs in your birth chart. But this is a lesson in becoming more fluid. And I believe that the transit of Saturn into Pisces, which is happening at the moment when I'm filming this reading, but you could see it in the future when Saturn would have switched signs. And I'm kicking my light lamp. Anyway, so take this as it applies to your current circumstances, but I am filming this with a current astrological energy. So I do feel that Saturn in Pisces is pushing you to become a bit more fluid, more flexible, more adaptable. Keep in mind you have everything you need to attract the partner of your dreams. You are a person that radiates light, potentially even a light worker if you happen to practice the spiritual gift. And I feel that normally things would come to you with a lot of speed. You're a person that likes to rush, you like to feel passionate, you like to feel the blood boiling in your heart, in your body. But at the moment, you could be momentarily put on a little bit of a waiting stand. You might be sent off, you know, in the little league when you were in the big league for a very long time. But that's okay because we all need to rest. So now that I showed you the first 3 cards, I'm going to show you how we can solve this problem. So let's see. You are advised to watch a movie, okay? You are also advised to realize that your empathy can be evolutionary, but also revolutionary. And we also have here the witch's bones. Okay, so there is something here that you need to work upon regarding the structures in your life. I feel that many times you might think that love is a game of smokes and mirrors. It's all about illusions. It's all about looking in a certain way. It's about that initial flutter in the stomach and the romantic period at the beginning of the connection when everything is milk and honey and you just want to stare into your lover's eyes for hours. Yes, that is part of love, and that is one of the most beautiful parts of a love story. But you have to stop giving up on love at the beginning of it. Or rather, I should say it in a much more eloquent way. Keep at it, be perseverant. Don't give up on people just because you find out that they have flaws, just because you find out that maybe there are certain aspects in their lives that are hindering them from truly giving to you, from truly being with you. Be patient and perseverant, my love, because we have here a Saturnian energy, the skeleton, the bones. This is Capricorn energy, this is Saturn, slowing you down on purpose so that you don't grow in your ego to the point where you end up hurting yourself and other people. If you feel like you're limited in the communication that you're able to have with your love partners, if you feel that you're doing your best to be warm and radiant and to begin a connection, but then you see your partner not reacting, keep in mind that it might not necessarily be something related to you, that there's something wrong with you, you're not lovable, but it might just be that there's something faulty in the structure of the connection and you need more trust to develop, you need to develop more communication, you need to talk more to this partner, and you need to get to know each other on a deeper level. In order to truly love somebody, you need to accept them with their flaws as well as with their qualities. You need to be able to see their light and shadow and love both sides. So it's important for you to be patient in this game of love and not give up so easily. You have everything it takes. You're super attractive, and I feel that throughout your life you will keep attracting opportunities. But you know, the universe is giving you a gift, but it's up to you to unpack it and use it, play with it, I don't know, enjoy it. So I feel it's super important for you to be a bit more fluid, allow things to grow organically, and to have this beautiful confidence to know that you can create a lot of things. It's just that I feel like you feel this initial thrill of love, you love it so much, and then when things tend to become difficult or sour, you might just give up and move on to the other person because you are quite an attractive individual, as I see here. But then this strategy in time gets you to not show the full extent of your commitment. And I don't know why I'm wiping something away from my face. I hope you're not crying. If you are, I'm sending you a really, really big hug. This reading is not meant to make you feel sad, but this is mostly about becoming aware of certain patterns and then using those patterns consciously to change something for the better in your life, rather than have an unconscious behavior take control over you and then you sit and you wonder, what is wrong with me? Why are things not working out? So I see very clearly here an individual that needs to work on the structure and somehow also my eyebrow. There's something with this part of the face. So this part of the face, the right side, as you see it, you might see my left side, but this is my right side, relates to masculinity, the divine masculine. This is the part that talks about masculine ancestry in our bloodline, so father figures. There could be something here you need to heal in relation to a father figure. There might be some anger that you could have grown up in a family where the father was not providing for you, or there might have been some restrictions, some harsh punishments. Maybe your father was too strong of a disciplinarian, or he wasn't necessarily there. So it's kind of like you felt like your father was a ghost, and now you end up in these situations where you're haunted or ghosted by the people you feel attracted to. So there's something here to work to work on at the level of your foundation. When you begin meeting somebody and falling in love with them and getting to know them, keep in mind that you need not only to have things in common, you need to develop trust, deep trust, that you have that person's back and they have your back, and also communicate as much as possible. Ask rather than assume. It's one of the key ingredients of really working things out in a mature, confident, comfortable way. Now, watch a movie could be about relaxing a little bit, yeah? Taking your time, not really sending a lot of messages and overwhelming that person at the beginning of that connection, although I am picking up that you are quite a passionate and enthusiastic lover, and that's gorgeous. It's just pacing yourself, so knowing when to send something, when to hold back, when to actually show this person the excitement that you have for them. And do it in doses, right? Don't do it all at the same time, because the other person could feel overwhelmed and might back away. So I also see here that realizing empathy as evolution, you see the keyword here is actually underlined. It says evolution, but then we have an R in front of it, yeah? So this talks about understanding that putting yourself in the other person's shoes is the essence of a successful partnership. It's not only about what you are getting, what you are feeling, if you are loved, if you are understood. It's also about the other person and trying to understand the other person's worldview, where they're coming from, how they're thinking, what their wounding could be, what their love style is, what their astrological energy is part of the process of being a committed, responsible lover. And it's part of this whole process of manifesting a committed and responsible relationship to somebody, something that will stand the test of time. So empathize more with your partners and watch as the structure of the relationship to them becomes solidified. It becomes something hard to break. You know that you can rely on the other person knows that they can rely upon you. They are being seen by you. You are seeing them properly and they also see you. So there is this mutual reception that happens, which is the magic ingredient of all long-lasting loving connections. So in the meantime, maybe after you listen to this reading, allow whatever you have heard in this reading to be absorbed by your unconscious mind, because we perceive things on a conscious level but also subconsciously. So allow that maceration to happen while you relax and take your mind off of what you have heard today in order for it to function. And I just realized I was holding the card upside down, and I just so I'm advising these things. I don't know what's happening to my speech today. I'm picking up on a lot of excitement and enthusiasm. I don't know why. Maybe you like my jewelry or style today. Or maybe you're just having a really good day, in which case, God bless. I hope this positive energy amplifies in your life. So I'm picking up on the fact that relaxing into the things you are discovering will help you manifest them with more ease than pushing hard at getting something, at grabbing it. Keep in mind that I felt this flutter and I felt the need to wipe things away from this part of my body. So the way in which you are in touch with your masculine energy, how healthy your inner masculine animus is going to determine how you take on a love connection, how you basically approach it, whether you are the chaser or whether you are the one that is being chased, or whether you are the one that initiates most, or the one that contacts, or the one that instigates meetups. There should be a balance. There shouldn't be one person does all the work and the other person just receives. Keep in mind this balance. How much am I giving? How much am I taking? Are things balanced? And I feel that focusing on these aspects is going to unblock the energy and love that you perceive as being unlucky. I don't see anything unlucky here, my love. You are the sun itself. Yeah? And on top of this, you're the magician as well. You have everything you need to manifest love. Just go slow at it, okay? Go slow with patience and determination, and you will succeed. Something is happening here. I know, guys, I'm having the transit of Saturn on my Mercury, and both of them are in Pisces, which is creating these weird blocks towards the way I normally flow and divinate. So please bear with me as this transit is unfolding. There's not much I can do. I just need to be a bit more self-conscious regarding how I speak. I hope you have enjoyed this reading nonetheless. I cannot wait to see you on my next one. Please remember to like and comment and subscribe. Bye bye. Hey group 2, hello darlings, welcome to a pick a card reading that was inspired by a subscriber's request. So we're going to be exploring, why do you feel like you might be unlucky in love? I will show you 3, I wanted to say pull, but they're already pre-shuffled. I will show you 3 cards that diagnose the problem of your luck in love, and then I will show you 3 other cards that are going to bring some sort of cure or remedy to your particular problem. And also, this is a reading that was meant for those of you drawn to the topaz. The topaz is actually the stone that governs over the month of November, and it is ruling in the sign Scorpio. So it's interesting because in the first pile we had Taurus in April, and now we're having November in Scorpio. So it could be that you guys have some planets in Scorpio, or you have Pluto conjunct your Sun, your Moon, your Ascendant, your Venus, your North nodes, or Mars. So let's first diagnose the problem. Why do you think you are unlucky in love? Okay, so we have here nowadays. We have here the Chariot. And we have here air, motion. It's beautiful because group 1 got the speed card. I'm seeing some changes, some really powerful changes happening with your unlucky break in love. Let's call it like that. So nowadays talks about a need to be with somebody, a need to feel loved. I feel like you might be walking around with this hole in your aura, in your energy, or your perception of your heart could be this gaping hole that you need to fill with experiences of love. It could be that some of you that have chosen this pile were not given enough love, warmth, and affection as you were growing up. It could be that you might have needed to go through certain traumatic experiences in your childhood, experiences that toughened you up far too early. You could have needed to be an adult when you were still at the age of a child. A lot of responsibilities could have been placed on your shoulders. You might have been born in a family where maybe there were a lot of other siblings and nobody had time for you. It could have been a situation where you were born in poverty and emotions or the finer things in life were not really the priority when you had to just basically survive. It might be as well that maybe you grew up with people that were non-empathetic, emotionally cold and distant, and actually physically separated. You could have been physically separated from your biological caretakers, which led to this shield created around you where your inner coating is soft and sweet and vulnerable and hasn't been given sufficient love to mature into something quite deeply emotionally strong. And your outer coating portrays a person that is very tough and in control and maybe a little bit sarcastic, and you act as if you don't need other people, but inside you actually feed off of the affection, compliments, and anybody that appears in your life. I'm not saying this to put you on the spot. I'm not saying this to make you feel uncomfortable. I myself have displayed this kind of behavior, and I myself am consciously working through it in order to identify my blind spots, okay? I also have very strong Scorpio energy in my chart with a powerful Pluto in the first house. So don't worry, we're all in this together. This is not to shame you or make you feel embarrassed. This is just meant to give you some sort of awareness boost, a primer, so that you get control over certain unconscious forces in your life that could be affecting the way that you feel you are lucky or unlucky in love. So I feel that there is a perceived neediness. You might not see it, but I feel it resides in your shadow area of the chart. There could be some 7th house problems there. You might have Mars there. You might have the North Node there or Saturn. There is a perceived childlike playfulness, but also neediness regarding the way in which you approach your love partners. You could cling on to people and experiences even when they're bad for you, maybe because you don't feel comfortable separating from the object of your affection, because it triggers an attachment wound. You might feel neglected, and that could bring up some deep pain that is too much for you to bear. So as a consequence, you stay in these connections that could be harmful, toxic, or disrespectful. Nowadays talks about not and need. It talks about kind of grasping for something, but it also talks about blindly walking into situations that might be harmful to you. So I see that at the root of this perceived lack of luck in love is the need to jump straight ahead with determination without sitting back and reflecting, hang on a minute, should I actually jump into this connection? Do I need to be with a person right now in my life? I feel like you just enthusiastically go ahead, and then you allow the connection to show you certain things about you through traumatizing experiences. And my heart goes out to you, honestly, because I feel like I want to give you a really big hug. Because there's nothing wrong about wanting to be loved. There's nothing wrong about being vulnerable and open-hearted and kind with other people. But perceiving the other person as your end-all and be-all, clinging to them to the point where you suffocate them, it's giving them too much power, first of all, and it's making you give away your power. And second of all, I think on some level, it's too much responsibility for the other person to bear. So I feel like pulling back your power, taking on more responsibility for what is happening in the connections with those around you. And I am already feeling like a tightening in my sacral chakra, because I feel like you could be saying, no, but other people are the ones that are being like mean to me and awful to me. It takes two to tango, always, always, yeah. It's a dynamic between you and another person. And it's important to actually keep in mind what is the other person's quality and what is mine. What is the other person's flaw and what is mine. What am I giving and taking in this connection? What am I bringing to the table? What am I getting out of this? So it's an exercise in seeing both sides, both your energy and the other person's energy. But I think that your tendency to just jump straight ahead with determination, to want to be victorious, to want to conquer the other person, and to feel like then you are caught up in this cycle of, I need you, don't walk away from me, I'm conquering you, come back to me. You know, all of those kind of slightly toxic behaviors are making you feel like love is not working out for you. Because on some level, if I am being completely honest with you, needing somebody is not necessarily love, it's codependent. It's a codependent form of behavior where you feel like you need another person to fill the emptiness in your heart, to make you feel like you are okay in the eyes of society, to make you feel like you're whole and complete. And while it is true that we desire other people and we flourish in mutual connections, our brains are social and they develop in social environments, it's also needing to understand the fine line between being together with other people and respecting another person's space and hobbies and different opinions than you, and being an overwhelming force in that connection where you constantly are kind of immersed or osmosed with the other person. And all you do is think about them and try to talk to them and try to micromanage their life and interfere in a lot of things and be jealous if they are going to work or they are doing things outside of the home with other people. So being aware of this behavior can help you establish boundaries where you have your hobbies, your lover has your hobbies, where you have your work, your lover has your work, where you have your family and relatives, your lover has your family and relatives, and in between there is a world of trust, a chasm that cannot be so easily broken or destroyed when you guys are not physically close to each other. I feel like it's hard for you to even have moments when you're separated from your partner for short periods of time, even a weekend, or maybe even for a semester, if one of you needs to travel abroad to study or to do some sort of further training course. And I feel like a lot of fears and anxieties come up to the surface when this happens in your life. But you need to bring more air into this connection. And I feel that generally you're on the healing path of this kind of energy, and you are genuinely bringing more air into your love life. No longer making you feel like I can't breathe anymore because I'm so anxious, thinking about what my person is doing, thinking about if they love me, thinking about if I need to control and keep this person by my side. So you're no longer in that energy. I feel like from now on you're able to breathe calmly and gently and come back to a state of power and stillness and confidence. But you're also allowing the other person to have their own separate world from you. Loving somebody doesn't mean necessarily being inside of their heart and soul and probing with the lens and forcing them to tell you everything that they're thinking of and everything that they're feeling. It means respecting the other person, respecting who they are as an individual, allowing them to come to their own conclusions, allowing them to make up their own mind. And sometimes it's heartbreaking when the person you love decides that they no longer want to be with you, or that they need a break, or that something happened and they cheated on you. It's heartbreaking that these things happen, but you need to keep in mind that you are also an individual that can create a lot of problems. You also have your faults. You also have your personal story of redemption. It's not just the other person. And balancing these two things out in your mind is going to liberate you from this codependent pattern of attaching yourself to other people. So I see that this is what's kind of creating this energy of, oh, love never works out for me. I am so sad. What is going on here? And I hope you took this with a grain of salt. I hope you actually took it in the highest vibrational possible. It's not my intention at all to criticize or to make you feel uncomfortable. It's just about figuring out what the problem is. I see here that harmonious unions, harmonious collaborations, we see the Grandmaster number 22 are coming your way. Almost like the universe is bringing you relationship upon relationship, so that you learn, so that you study, so that you integrate these things you're picking up from personal connections. You could have Saturn in the 7th house sitting opposite from your 1st house. So the way you consciously think about who you are is in a way related to the karmic testing that is happening to you in relation to other people. What is the cure? Okay, so let's talk about the cure. I felt like I spent a bit too long focusing about the problem, but what is the cure? So we see that the advice is aromatherapy, working with essential oils, coming back to the present moment when you are looking at the past and you're starting to fill up with anxiety and dread about what has happened. You're filling yourself with regrets and shame or guilt. When you are looking at the future and you have a fear of the unknown, the best way to bring yourself into the present moment where everything is calm and balanced and from which everything emerges and is created, the best way to do so is by appealing to one of the senses, sight, smell, touching. And I see that in this case, smell is really important. Smell and taste is really important for you to feel like you are grounded in the present moment and to not go into these fearsome flights of fancy about the future and what happened in the past. Those things are already done. They're not yet manifested. The only thing that is real is right now, you watching this clip, being in your body, and maybe, I hope, lighting up a scented candle or using some essential oils to feel like you are part of the surrounding environment right now as it is so made to be. I also see here I. So the way in which you see your partner, your experiences needs to change a little bit in order for you to experience a feeling that you are lucky in love, that you're attracting optimistic experiences. I see also this is the protective eye, and I feel like this talks about being aware that some people could project onto you the evil eye. And there are a couple of cures that you can do against that. You can wear a red and white knotted thread on your armband or across your neck as a necklace. You could wear amulets and pendants. You could wear the protective Hamsa hand. You could wear the Eye of Allah, yeah. You could wear a pentagram, a cross. You could also wear crystals, so bracelets, for example. Sorry about that. I have here an amethyst bracelet or a rose quartz bracelet. There are many ways in which you can protect yourself. I would recommend some smoke cleansing, saying prayers. Evil eye happens to me all of the time. It's been passed down on my mother's side. My mother has this as well, and she gave it to me and my sister, and it's something quite common, quite normal. I would recommend walking around if you need to be around a lot of people, if you work in a profession that you need to deal with a lot of clients and individuals. Walk with a piece of obsidian or black tourmaline in order to protect yourself against this low vibrational energies. The evil eye can be cast upon you, not necessarily as a curse or a spell. It just a strong impression that another person thinks of you, and they look at you with such intent that for a moment they hypnotize you. So a person could look at you and say, wow, this person is incredibly hot. Or they could look at you and say, ugh, what is up with this person? Wow, I really don't like them. And boom, you have the evil eye energy around you, and you might be feeling drained and depleted and like you don't want to eat, and you might be feeling a little bit nauseous. So saying a prayer, wearing protective amulets, carrying crystals that are black and they help absorb negative energy is going to be wonderful for you in changing this. I feel like your magnetic energy, your aura tends to move from brown, gray, and black towards white and gold and orange. So keeping your aura in the color scheme of white, golden, and orange is going to help attract better experiences to you. And as you can see here, I also would recommend not only essential oils, but Bach flower therapies. You could work with them. They are basically just some droplets, essences of specific flowers that you can pour in your drinking water and take a couple of them, I think 2 or 3 times a day. But consult with your local naturopath, with your local herbal pharmacist, and check into Bach flower remedies because they are wonderful at helping Pluto problems. Donna Cunningham, a famous astrologer who has written many books regarding trauma, healing, and Pluto problems, recommends Bach flower remedies. And the final card that I have here for you, we have here from the Empath's Oracle, expressing artistic creativity. Take your very strong emotions and instead of dumping them onto other people or processing them through text messages and phone calls, hold that energy inside of yourself and create art. You could be a wise soul, even though you might look quite young. I feel like your soul has been through a lot, and you can take those strong emotions, you can take that passion, the sleepless nights, everything that is going inside of you, and rather than sharing it with your lover or your partner, you can do that, but don't do it all of the time. Try to develop an artistic hobby that can help you express yourself through a different modality than speech. It's really important that you come out of your mind and heal yourself by being back in your body and creating, whether it is painting, singing, dancing, sculpting, using collages, doing digital artwork, is helping you get in touch with a different kind of stream of consciousness. It's creating a different brainwave when we are absorbed in the flow of creation. It's a very different experience than anything else that we get to have on a daily basis. So I would strongly recommend art therapy to help you cope with some of the negative energies, the codependent things that could come upon you in an unconscious way. But I see that you're already doing really good. You're healing yourself and you're actively working at changing your luck in love. This is the reading that I had for you, Group 2. I really hope you have enjoyed it. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment below and let me know. Has any of this resonated? Do you find yourself in such a situation? I'd love to read your comment and give you a supportive heart as a sign of appreciation. I hope to see you in my next one. Take care of your sweet, sweet heart. Until then. Hey Group 3, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome to a pick a card reading that was inspired by a subscriber, and it is on the topic of your luck in love. How can we change it? First of all, I'm going to diagnose what is going on by showing you 3 cards, and then I'm going to see the cure or the treatment by showing you 3 other cards. I just hit my lamp accidentally. There could be some more lights, more knowledge in your life at the moment. So this is for those of you that were drawn to this sapphire sticker. Sapphire is the stone of Libras. It rules over the month of October. I also believe that Geminis or Aquarius could be sharing that. So I'm picking up on somebody that could have some strong air energy in their chart. As you guys know, birthstones are interchangeable, but all in all, predominantly, I tend to associate sapphire with Libra energy, with cool, calm, deep blue. So let's see, first of all, what is the issue? How can we diagnose your perceived lack of luck in love? Okay. So we have here Hagalaz, the rune of hail. We have here wildness, electricity. And we have the Hermit. I'm laughing because right off the bat I see that you are unlucky in love because you don't like people. I'm sorry, I'm being really blunt, but I see it very clearly here. You're a person that you really enjoy your alone time. I feel that you perceive other people as being people that always criticize you, that pummel you with all sorts of requests and demands to your time and your energy that you don't really feel like honoring. You might have been bullied as you were growing up, or you're just feeling that entering into a specific social group is always a hassle for you. You might be having Saturn in Aquarius or Saturn in the 11th house. It could be quite difficult for you, maybe even Saturn conjunct Venus. It could be quite difficult for you to enter groups of people, to be seen as a team member, to feel like you can genuinely have something to contribute. Okay, I'm not saying this to really annoy you or to attack you in any way, but I want you to be mindful that with the Hermit card here, people could perceive you as a little bit controlling. You like your schedule and the way you like it. I feel you're a very productive person. I feel like you're incredibly hardworking. You naturally take on responsibilities. You naturally know what details need finessing and how to. It's like you have a vision when you work and you want that vision to be respected to a T. So you're very uncompromising when you hear another person's insight or suggestion. It's like, no, I know what I see, I know what I want to bring into reality. Case in point, Tim Burton is also a Virgo sun, and if I'm not mistaken, his sun is conjunct Pluto in Virgo, which amplifies that energy, but I could be wrong. He might have a Pluto in Leo. I need to go and double check his chart, but I know for sure that he's a sun in Virgo, and you see the incredible control of his work that he has and how productive he is. I'm kind of getting a very similar vibe with you. I feel like you're a purist at heart. You want things done in a specific way. And that's why it's hard for you to open up to another person's perspective, another person's point of view, and to release a little bit this control. You can be a great leader, a great manager. I'm sure that at work, things are going in the direction in which you want them to. It could be that it's hard for you to work as part of a team, or it could be that it's hard for you to get integrated into new work environments. But once you do, you become an essential component of that specific group of people. The problem is that I feel there is something quite untamed about you. It's very hard to domesticate you. It's very hard to change your mind, yeah, to get you out of your hermit energy, to get you to socialize, to get you to do things that you don't want to do. And it's very hard to domesticate you. You carry this electric energy. It's like you energize people, you inspire them, but at the same time, you could easily kind of shock them, electrocute them, right? With electricity here. So I feel like you want to be wild, you want to be free. You don't want people asking you, where have you been? Are you okay? You know, it's like those things burden you, they pressure you. You want to go out there and do your thing, come back home, continue working if that's what you want to do. You want to study, you want to dive deep into a specific subject and stay on it for hours without having other people imposing their ridiculous social norms upon you. It's kind of like, in some situations, I would say, obviously, I'm speaking here to a tier of individuals, right? So you guys can be on a tier of extremes, to the most extreme kind of energy that I'm describing here, where you're literally like a lone wolf. You don't want to talk to people. You want to hide in your cave. And others of you could be in a milder form, like you find it hard to accept the opinions of other people when you're at work, when you're discussing on a subject. You tend to disagree with a lot of people or engage in debates because it's hard for you to understand that a person can be Republican when you're liberal, that they can be so close-minded when you're so open-minded, or vice versa. Yeah. So there are degrees here, and because I'm reading for a large collective, this is a general reading, keep that in mind, my love. But I see very clearly here that you tend to also change your mind quite often. You might not be aware that you're doing this aspect in your personal connection. It could be something in your shadow zone that is blocking you from noticing that, in spite of the fact that you think you're a loyal and rational and loving partner, which I'm sure you are, but there is also another aspect of you where you enter into a connection and then you change your mind about it, or you get distracted by another person, or you're trying to manifest a love relationship with somebody and then your energy gets pulled away because you're working on an important work project that is requiring all your manifestation energy. So things are not growing because it's like you're not focused on them completely, or other things constantly interfere, other responsibilities, other issues related to work, money, wealth, stability, and you tend to prioritize those over connections with other people. Because I see very clearly that the cards are telling me that it's uncomfortable for you to be in a loving connection, to be honest. Hagalas talks about hail. It talks about being pummeled by icy bits. Hail sometimes comes to destroy something. It destroys the plantations on the earth in order to help them rise back up again. So there could be quite a my way or the highway energy that you tend to unconsciously project. Again, you might not be aware that you're doing this, but maybe other people have told you, like, you know, I don't want to be tied down, or why are you running away, or why are you being so difficult? Or maybe they didn't say anything and they just blocked you or ghosted you and you're constantly wondering what is happening. Well, people perceive this control center that you tend to step into in a personal connection. And I think you do it because you don't find romantic relationships that comfortable. I see that you're a highly intelligent person. You're in a unique club of your own. I feel like Uranus could also have something to do. You might have Uranus in Virgo in your birth chart, or it could be that you have a Venus in Aquarius, a Venus in Virgo. You tend to want to perfect your partners rather than accept them as they are, or you tend to be quite emotionally detached and you prefer friendships to involved, intimate, passionate encounters. So these kind of attitudes push people away because people just want to be loved and accepted for who they are. And you do too on some level. I'm sure that you do. It's just that your need and your desire to be independent, to manage your own environment, to do your own thing, to think your own thoughts, to have your own set of rules is stronger than a desire to be in a connection, because on some level you unconsciously feel that love is hardship. Love always ends in destruction or arguments, and I don't have time for those. You know, this could be your internal dialogue in a conscious or unconscious way. Some of you are conscious of this and you're nodding your head right now, which is so sweet. And others are like, no, you could be quite triggered by what you're hearing today, and it is not my point and my intention to upset you in any way or to trigger you, but sometimes when we are confronted with aspects that lie in our shadow, we tend to become triggered because our shadow doesn't want to be seen. But now you are shedding the beautiful light of your solar consciousness onto this neglected part of yourself. You're opening up the skeleton in the closet and you're making friends with this aspect of yourself. Whatever triggers you, it's a step forward towards you embracing that very thing. And the moment you embrace it in yourself, you will see how you're going to start tolerating it and embracing it in other people. If you figure out that you're selfish in personal connections, you're going to be a bit more lenient when you see that your partner is a little bit selfish in relation to you, because you understand that, hey, it's human to be selfish and to want to take more than you give. Yeah, so that's the way in which the psychological mechanism tends to function in personal connections. I hope that was clear enough. I'm going to look right now at the cure. So now that we identified the problem, let's see what the cure is. So we have connect with crystals. And that's really beautiful, because today I was studying part of the occult scriptures and listening to some really interesting podcasts on divinatory practices in ancient Egypt. And it struck me how in that specific podcast it was said that people in the past used to write important prayers and hymns to gods on crystal tablets. And for example, the god Thoth, or he is associated with Hermes Trismegistus, or the Roman god Mercury. It is said that the god Thoth was usually symbolized as writing not only on papyrus, but also on crystal tablets like the emerald tablet, on which it was recorded a lot of the Book of Knowledge and the Book of the Dead. So it's fascinating how crystals, and we have here hermit energy, which is the energy of the mind, of reading, writing, editing, correcting, calculating, learning. We have it here in connection with crystals. So it's kind of like you need to become aware of the things that you write and the things that you think, because they tend to bring into reality certain outcomes. If you constantly think that love is not going to work out for me, love is not something that I need, and you write, maybe as part of your work, you write towards this kind of outcome. Maybe you're a researcher looking at the effects of hormones on personal connections, or you're investigating domestic abuse between gendered relations, or you're looking at the rate of divorces, and you're constantly coming across facts and research that shows that, it's hard to actually have a romantic connection, and you're writing these thoughts down, then you're manifesting them in your reality, and they're contributing to your lack of luck in love. Okay, I hope that made sense. Also, be careful about what you write when you write in your diary, when you vent to other people, because the thoughts that you're saying and writing down tend to bring into reality that specific outcome. Obviously, you shouldn't kind of police your words and your thoughts all the time, being afraid of thinking something negative. You can think negative things, of course. It's natural that you do, and I would advise that you balance your positive energy with some negative thoughts as well, because you're not perfect, you're not an angel, and nor should you hold yourself by such standard. Although I think that you guys are type A personalities and you might often do that. Keeping a balanced perspective on the things that are not working out and the things that are working out in your love life is going to help you. Obviously, the advice here is not to focus too much or all the time on negativity and manifesting negativity, because that is creating a block. That is creating destruction. That is creating on and off uncommitted relationships. And that is creating a feeling of, you know what, I'd rather just go home, read, study, and be in my own little cave rather than to be around people that constantly bring destruction and chaos in my life. But you have to be also careful about not manifesting these yourself. So see challenges in personal connections as a mirror to your shadow self, and make friends with that shadow self. Connecting with crystals can help you. The primary crystal that I recommend that you start working with is, of course, the mother of all crystals, amethyst. It's a deeply spiritualizing stone. Okay, just get the camera to focus on it and not me. And it is helping you to get in touch with something other than yourself, other than your rational mind here on earth. Then next up we have carnelian. This is the stone of commitment. It regulates your blood flow. It also helps you focus more on the little things, material aspects surrounding you. I would also recommend that you work with labradorite. It is a stone that purifies, it cleanses, and it has this prismatic glow, which talks about getting in touch with the whole gamut of human emotions and feelings. Positive, negative, annoying, exalting, all of them. You need all of them, my love. And finally, I would also recommend some green jade. It is the stone that brings luck in many different aspects of life. So I would recommend that you purchase a jade. You can use it like this, or you can have it as a tumbled glossy stone as well, in order to manifest good luck in your life, not only in love, but also, I think, with your abundance mindset. So connecting with crystals, yeah? We also have your dream. Where is your love dream? Group 3, okay? I'm calling you out a little bit. Take some time to rest. You've been overworking yourself. I think you're the kind of individual that even at nighttime, you're burning the midnight oil. You're burning the owl. Stop burning the owl, okay? No, I hope you're not harming any, birds in the process. You're burning the oil, yeah? You're staying up late, writing, obsessing over things, wanting to perfect and improve things, or maybe just listening to music and just enjoying your solitude. I get it. I do that too. I love that kind of time that I have with myself. But there is also the time to rest. You might be sleep deprived, a little bit dehydrated, and all of these physical symptoms could contribute towards the poor malfunctioning of your brain and the vision of love that you have. You could be looking around you and finding faults in everybody because you are mildly dehydrated and you are underslept. So it's important for you to sit and think about the types of relationships you would like to have, to fantasize a little bit, to maybe fall a bit for the romances in your head, to nurture a fantasy into being. Life is not all work and responsibility. It is also dream, fantasy, glamour, and escapism. So, the final card that I have here for you from the Empath's Oracle, I hope you can see it quite clearly, we have alchemizing confusion into clarity. Some of you could have, I'm picking up on Pisces and Virgo energy very strongly in the chart. It could be part of your north nodes, it could be your moon, your sun. Some of you could have a sun in Virgo, moon in Pisces being here. So you were born most likely on a full moon, because that's when we have this opposite energy around that particular lunar event. But I see here that a lot of the confusion that you might be experiencing in love is happening because you might be refusing to integrate shadow aspects of yourself. Be very honest with what you bring to the table in a connection. Be very honest with what you love to do the most. If you're a person that just enjoys being alone, if you're an individual that wants to dedicate their life to God, spirituality, traveling, loving the world, or loving pets, or other forms of love, then admit that to yourself. Don't try to chase romantic love when you don't enjoy romantic love. You don't have to be in a connection necessarily, in a heterosexual connection. You don't have to partake in sexual erotic love. There are many different ways of using your heart energy in service to the world, and also so that you may enjoy your experience here on earth as a human being. So by being ruthlessly honest with yourself, you're going to transform confusion into clarity. And by admitting and owning up to, hey, this is who I am, this is what I want to do, then you are going to make your life so much more smoother and more enjoyable. I can tell you from experience, I have a North Node in Aries and a South Node in Libra. The first part of my life was suffocatingly packed with people and demands on my time and energy. And while I enjoyed the company of other people, I also really enjoyed separating from the vast group of people that I had in my life and finding my own pace as I was spending a lot of time alone. I'm doing this kind of work because it allows me to live in solitude and to live in a creative way in my solitude, and I really enjoy it. And accepting my destiny and my faith as a North Node in Aries, which is creative solitude, is actually making me feel much more relaxed about chasing a specific person or why are things not working out in my love life. Well, I see that it's part of my karma for love not necessarily to always work out, unless I want to manifest it, unless I want to create it. So I'm only sharing this personal example towards the end of your reading to kind of encourage you a little bit, to not go necessarily for what other people tell you that you need to be doing. You do you, boo, okay? I'm here to let you know, though, in the case that you want to be in a connection, you want to have a family, you want to settle down, you want children, you want to fall in love and meet your soulmate, accept aspects of your shadow self. Do a little bit of dream work. Now with Saturn and Pisces, this is excellent. I am filming this under a Saturn and Pisces sky, although you might see this in the future. And definitely work at dispelling confusion. It's not the job of other people to do that for you. It's not the job of a lover to explain themselves to you all the time. Unless you ask them and you see that they're not replying, there might be some problems there in the communication. But in general, try not to assume things about people and then walk away in your cave and lick your wounded pride, so to say, like a big cat, you know, grooming itself. But rather, try to accept certain parts about yourself that you might be bringing into this connection, and it might be making it quite complex and difficult. As I said with group 2, it always takes 2 to tango. I learned that the hard way as well. I'm in the same boat as you guys. I'm not seeing myself as over and above any of you. So I hope that this reading served. I hope it helped. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to stop here. I feel like I've been dishing a lot of facts and knowledge and whatever the cards wanted me to talk to you. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit self-conscious because I never enjoy making people feel put on the spot. But I hope that at least you felt like I was talking to you as a friend and that you're not feeling a little bit, I don't know, ultra conscious right now about how you come across in personal connections. Thank you so much for being here. Please remember to like this video if you have enjoyed it, comment down below and subscribe, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Bye, group 3.